Welcome to Straight Outta Jersey. Today's podcast is brought to you by Ace Sunglasses. Go to acesunglasses.com.au to purchase some of the best shades around. Use promo code MRG30 and receive 30% off selected brands.
Straight Outta Jersey with Jersey Jay-Z. With the freak of New York, Gregg Valentino. And your host, Jersey Jay-Z.
What's up, guys? We are live Thursday. We missed last week. I actually have a couple things, personal things going on. My girl got a surgery, so she's healing really well. So, Greg, how you been, my friend?
Can't complain, Joe. I hope Morella's feeling better. Of course, I know she is because we just talked about it. But I can't believe she got a calf implants.
Yeah, she did it. She got calf implants, make them bigger. Also, I want to actually do a quick little Jackson, my nephew. He actually has a TikTok, and he wants everyone to like and subscribe and watch his TikTok.
Shit. Jackson has
It's TikTok Hollywood Jack 7. So everyone subscribe, follow him. TikTok, it's Hollywood Jack 7. So he's going to be streaming some Fortnite, I believe, and some video game stuff. So, you know, he's going to be doing that kind of stuff. So let's say hello to some of the people in the chat, Greg. Luciano says, Zapata and Gregg.
Luciano, what's going on, my brother?
Jerry Guns said, hey, guys, you guys are awesome. Thank you, man. Rick Simon says, hey, Joe. Hey, Greg. I have
Rick, what's going on, Rick?
Oh, wow. You got an update on the case. Oh, Jesus. Well, let us know what's going on, man. Luciano said, Joe, awesome interview with Steve Lombardi, a.k.a. the Brooklyn Brawler. Yes, he actually was on there, and he was actually on an episode of The Young Rock. He actually was the first match of The Rock.
The Rock, you mean Dwayne Johnson? Oh, you mean a wrestler. Okay, I'm sorry. Yes. I'm thinking like a TV show, The Young Rock. That should be a TV show, The Young Rock.
The dude, 1983, said, we got Bush.
The dude. I love Bush, bro. I do. And not the President Bush. My girlfriend thinks that George Bush was cute. I'm lucky. My girlfriend likes ugly older guys. You know what I'm saying? So that helps me because I'm ugly and I'm older. You know what I mean? But she thinks like, oh, George Bush is cute. I'm like, Mrs. Bush doesn't even like George Bush. You know what I mean? She doesn't even like him. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what the hell you think, but
yeah, that's crazy.
She's crazy.
Rick Simon says they quit voluntary dismissal on his case. Congratulations, Rick.
Congratulations, Rick.
Thank God. Jesus. You know, that's crazy. Dan says, hey, Joe and Greg, what's going on? What's going on, Dan?
Hey, Dan, what are you doing?
Man. Greg, what's going on with that gorilla? Do you see that gorilla thing about, did Trump say something about a gorilla or something? I keep hearing something about this gorilla all over Instagram.
You know what's funny? These people fucking look for the hair in the egg. Listen to me. If Donald Trump cured cancer, we all talk about this all the time. They bitch. You just put doctors out of business. What an evil fuck. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just like, there's no fucking, you know, I just watched Jesus Christ, Jesse Waters. And they just had on, they had a Brago Garcia guy that's down, like from Maryland, the father that was, sent to El Salvador. First of all, his kids, the kids that he's raising are not his. They're his ex-wife's, the girlfriend, or whatever she is, his wife's kids, from another husband. And that husband's been suing the wife, trying to get those kids back because he doesn't trust Brago Garcia. He was afraid of him because he was in MS-13, okay? And you fucking momos, what it says, the president of El Salvador took the picture and put that MS-13 on the fucking thing, right? So everybody's like, look, it's Photoshop. Okay, first of all, M for marijuana. The marijuana is for M. The fucking smiley face is for the S. Okay, the what some people call it a plus. It's not a plus, you fucking momos. It's a goddamn cross. For the one, okay, MS1, true God, right? And then the skull is for the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, the Trinity. Do you understand what I'm saying? The Holy, don't ask me why, but it's like hieroglyphics. And it's like Jesse Waters was saying, what do you think, the fucking, like the Gambino family to get tattoos, the Gambino family or whatever, you know what I mean? That's their moniker. It's just like, the prisoners from, if you go to like, where the Russians are, they take their shirts off and they got like, these tattoos is for a gang, but it doesn't say I'm in the Russian fucking whatever gang. It's a signal that others know what it means. So you people all you liberals are fucking shot, but You know, they just showed the guy. They just showed the actual police footage where the guy was pulled over and he had all those migrants in his car and shit. He had 8 people in his fucking car. They had fucking all this money on him, and they showed the cop. They redacted the footage, but the cop talked to Joe Biden, the FBI, and they said no, let him go. Joe Biden's FBI said no, let him go. Fuck it, because they wanted to get him for trafficking right there. So it's all bullshit.
William Allen says they say there's no place like home for the illegals.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, not for nothing. You know, it's like out of control now. You know, you got fucking guys who served this country living on the streets here in New York City. I go to New York City, you see there's fucking homeless vets and shit laying on a fucking newspaper in a fucking ice cold. You know what I mean? Me and Lucia, once we gave this homeless guy fucking. We went to a party. My friend gave me all this cake to bring. I don't eat that shit. Big wedges, you know, like Italian wedges, you know, because it was for my friend, and he gave me all this food to bring home, and I said, what am I gonna do? So we went out and we gave it to the fucking guys. Homeless was one particular guy, but he's in with others, and he was almost vet. You know, I gave it to him. I said, here, enjoy this. I even had fucking water, so I was giving him the waters, and I gave him a Diet Coke. He looked at it. I said, it's diet, but listen, trust me, in your position, you know, you drink that, you know what I'm saying? But he was grateful. But what I'm saying is, this homeless fucking vets in this country is people like that. And you're worried about some fucking savage that came over here. You know what I mean? Like it's just ridiculous, you know.
John Mancini said, "Hey everyone, sorry I'm late. Hope all's well." Hey, what's going on?
John Mancini, what are you doing?
We got William Allen says, "Medica first."
Medica.
What is it? Night Rider said, "Greg, did you ever train with Steve Reeves?"
No, but I've met him and I got pictures with him. Just go on my Instagram. If you go on my Instagram, you got to scroll down, like, you know, it goes back a couple of years, you know what I'm saying? But on my Instagram is a picture of me and Steve Reeves from like the 1980s. I was with Bob Bonham. I'm not sure, he might have been cut out of that picture, but in the pictures, I was with Bob Bonham.
John Scuderi, what's up, John? Yo,
hey, fellas. John Scuderi.
What are you doing, insight in After Hours this week, Greg?
What's that?
He said, John Scuderi said, yo, fellas, great boxing insight in After Hours this week, Greg.
I don't even remember what the hell we talked about. What did we talk about? I don't remember.
Luciano said, Greg, these fake news pundits are actually playing stupid. They know he's MS-13 and illegal. They're going to buy a script, which is why they are.
You know what's funny? It's funny how they keep saying, like, well, you know, the Supreme Court said that you have to bring him back and you must listen to the court and all this other bullshit. Did Joe Biden listen to the court when he said, okay, no more student loans? And the Supreme Court said they can't do that. And he said, oh, really? Watch me. Fuck it. You know what I mean? It's a matter of time till Trump just gets, and they'll want to, okay, now we're going to impeach you. They're going to do all the shit because the Republicans have no balls. You know, you got to fight back. You got to do exactly what they did to us. You get lock a few of those fucking guys up, take an Adam Schiff or, you know, that Letitia James, that gorilla, fucking lock that shit up and show, you know, start kicking a little ass, and they're going to think twice about doing this shit. You know what I mean? Nobody gives a shit. Lincoln Riley lived in the same fucking neighborhood where that guy is, that savage lives. And the fucking governor over there goes to see that savage, you know, all the way over there in El Salvador, but never called Lincoln Riley's fan. You know, it's just like ridiculous, man. You know, we're living in, it's unbelievable the shit that, you know.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's that the left is nuts.
Rick Simon said, I love Diet Coke.
Dude, I love Diet Coke. Well, I drink Diet root beer.
John Mancini said the Hodge twins posted some stuff about a woman from The View who has a meltdown. I didn't see that one.
Yeah, you know what they're talking about? They're talking about Anna Navarro, where she was telling a black guy that, you know, that these people that are illegal immigrants are the same. It's like when they brought the slaves over here, and now they're trying. It's almost like, we kept the slaves, but now we're trying to get rid of the illegals. And there was a black dude she was arguing with, and he's like, what are you talking about? You can't compare the slaves. We were brought here. We were abducted, in Africa and fucking sent here, basically is what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? These people come here on their own free will, and they're here illegally. She goes, well, the slaves were here illegally, like that kind of shit. And he starts arguing with her. She goes, well, look, we're saying the same thing. And he goes, listen to me. No, we're not. He's saying, I'm black. I've been black my whole life, and you're not black. So you can't talk for that. You can't talk for slavery. And, that's what the Hodge twins were talking about. By the way, they follow me on Twitter. But, I know that they're good guys. I love those guys. They make me laugh. I love those fucking guys. They make me laugh my balls off.
Biggest Momo said, Diet Coke is my favorite.
I like diet root beer. I like diet. You know, I'll drink Diet Coke when Diet root beer ain't around. You know what I'm saying?
The dude 1983 says, fellas, what do you guys think about training at Planet Fitness? You know, I train at Retro, but I mean, Planet, sometimes I'll go there if I like when I travel, and if it's I don't have a gym around and it's there, I'll just go in there and do it, whatever. But you know, it's not my number one choice though. What about you?
I train at the only true 24-hour gym because it's open on Christmas 24 every day, 7 days a week. Not Planet Fitness, which is Monday through Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday closer. I train at Anytime Fitness, and I love it. Most Anytime Fitnesses suck, but the one that I train at's got, you know, hardcore weightlifting and shit, and you know, it's good. It's really good. I love that gym. You know.
William Allen said Trump should deny the Democrats back into the U.S. Mike G said it's obvious Dave knows nothing about boxing. You think?
Well, you know,
Mike Tyson never fought any good fighters. And
oh my God, that's right. Oh my God, how could you say that?
And he would say Mike Tyson never fought any good fighter in prime. Tyson would lose to Cassius Clay.
Dude, never. Dude, listen to me. Listen, the experts, they had that computer fight, of course, that Marciano beat him. But Tyson studied Marciano, by the way. You know what I'm saying? He had that stalk style, and he wasn't going to stand there and rope a dope. Plus, he would have fucking broke his fucking arms. You stand there like this, and you're going to let Tyson hit you with those bombs. He's going to break his arms. He'd go to the body. No. I don't want to hear any the shit that he said is low.
I mean, Dave is a genius when it comes to bodybuilding. Knows so much.
The other guy kept saying,
he knows nothing.
Listen, the other guy kept saying, yeah, but you know, when Customato didn't, and let's forget Customato. Customato was like a father figure to him, but the handler was Jimmy Jacobs. Okay, and when he died, that's when shit went south. But Customato was dead before Tyson ever fought, you know, like his big fights. And I don't even think he was a pro when Customato died. I think he was still an amateur. So all those fights where you saw Tyson knocking dudes out, where he was in his prime and fucking people up, was Jimmy Jacobs. Customato was dead already. Listen, no, I'm not putting anything on. Cuss was great with him. Was a father figure, mentor, the whole works. But Jacobs was the handler. And when Jacobs controlled Tyson, had him under control. It's when he died, Bill Caton couldn't handle Tyson. He didn't know what to do, okay? And fucking... That's when, what's his name, came in there, Don King, with the, you know, we're black, we belong together, stick together with us. And meanwhile, who fucks you? Listen, I'm a guinea from New York, right? And I'm going to tell you right now, the guys who fuck you the worst are your own kind. When a mafia kills somebody, they're not killing somebody, I'm going to go kill this black dude or Spanish dude or whatever. They usually kill one of their own. A guy who sat at the same dinner table they did. You understand? You know, because maybe he ratted, or meanwhile, every one of them are rats. Every fucking one of them were rats. The biggest guys that killed people were rats. Sammy the Bull. If you're a rat, I'll fucking kill you. Meanwhile, he was a rat. You know what I mean? Greg Scarpa would have the Grim Reaper, they called him, right? Rat. You know, Whitey Bulger, rat. You know, all those guys.
Yeah. I will say this, and I've had this conversation with Teddy Atlas.
Yes.
And Greg, see if you agree with me. Teddy Atlas did say this about Mike Tyson. He said most of his opponents were getting into the ring in his prime now. Tyson in his prime. When they got in the ring with him, they were already defeated because they were scared. He said, however, Mike Tyson has never had a fight where his heart was tested.
Oh, okay. I understand.
He said when he was in a fight where he had to go, his heart was tested. That's when Tyson was in trouble. However, he beat all of his opponents because the time they got in the ring, they were all, Michael Spinks was scared to shit.
But see, this is why, though. This is why. Let me explain something to you. And I can't undermine Teddy Atlas, but it's not that I differ in my opinion than him, but that also goes back to a little bit of what Jimmy Jacobs, I feel. Okay, because when Jimmy Jacobs was alive, I'm gonna get my arm on a chair here and it's like not comfortable. When Jimmy Jacobs was alive, okay, Tyson was under control, and they would, like, Tyson was a head case. They'd have to, okay, calm down, relax. Once he got in there, he became ferocious. Whether you could say he wasn't tested or not, but he didn't show fear. Okay.
Yes.
He had nervous breakdowns and shit. He would cry. My mother never loved me. You know, all that kind of shit. But the minute you took Jimmy Jacobs, who was the last one, that's the one who used to show him the films and all that shit.
Yeah. Sure.
The minute you took him out, you know, and he bought into that. I'm black, we're black, we got to stick together because we're black. You know, by Don King, he could no longer control his own emotions, and that's why he didn't know what the fuck he was doing. You know what I mean? Like, even with Buster Douglas, he didn't fucking shit. Even though he didn't know what he was doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And like, even when he got the, you know, the mouthpiece, he's sticking it backwards, you know, he was gone. You see, there's a lot of people who are famous celebrities, you know, people like Marilyn Monroe, people like Elvis Presley. They all had a confidence. They had people around them that kept them. They're the product, but some of them needed somebody to, you know, hey, listen, come here. God rest his soul. God rest his soul. But I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm the one who got Cedric McMillan. I started with, we talked about this on After Hours, I think, once. I'm the one who got him in the magazine. All right. He started writing to me. He was a soldier in Iraq. He wasn't a pro bodybuilder. He was going for bodybuilding shows. He used to send me pictures of him in Iraq making equipment, right? You know, out of like bomb shit and wood and pieces of Humvees and shit, you know. And he would make equipment training. He would like write to me, and I put him in the magazine, in the Future Stars, and he became a star. He actually wrote. I remember when he first became a pro. Steve Blackman goes to me, look at this. Check this guy out. His name is Cedric McMillan. I said, yeah, Steve, he was in your magazine like 3-4 years ago. What? Yeah. He goes, I just put him in. I said, no. He was in your magazine like 3-4 years ago. I put him in. He was in the success stories. So I used to talk with Cedric, but Cedric had some issues, you know, from being in war and everything. He had like anxiety. And I remember we were backstage at a show, and Robbie Durand came in. He's the one who took over for Palumbo. And he goes, Greg, I was up in that room. I was with Cedric. He's sitting on a bed, and he just won the show. I think it was a New York Pro, one of those shows, right? And he goes, Greg, I actually had to smack him in the face. And I said, what are you talking about? Why would you smack Cedric? Cedric was a fucking great guy. I loved him. He's fun. He was very witty, very funny. But some people mentally have demons, and when success scares them too. He actually started crying. I don't deserve this win. I shouldn't have won. I should forfeit the, you know, like you tell, like I should give the trophy, etc. And Robbie went, stop it. You just won the fucking show. Stop that. What I'm saying is Mike Tyson couldn't handle life. Do you understand? When you took the father figure out of there, Customato, and then he leaned on the big brother figure, which was Jimmy Jacobs. When you take that out, he didn't know what to do. He was fucking a lunatic. You know what I'm saying? No longer Kevin Rooney training him. Now you got some other guys that don't worry about it, man. You're Mike Tyson. You know, and he couldn't handle it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Joe, Joe knows a lot about
it. You know, and you're right. You know, Mike Tyson was the most feared boxer, puncher, hardest knockout artist in the world. But the thing was, sometimes when he went against an opponent was sticking up to him and saying, "Hey, I got a heart. I'm going to go round and round with you." That's when he started backing down a little bit, Tyson, where he didn't know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? Evander Holyfield, you know, was
those were later. I'll give you one. Okay, I'm going to give you one where I'm going to justify what he's saying. Okay. You can't see Evander Holyfield because that's way after Jimmy Jacobs was already done, and that's like Don King thing. You know what I mean? That's after he already lost and beat Buster Douglas and back. Remember, Buster Douglas was the first fight
to beat him.
Yeah, but he was the first fight that was Bill Caton now took over for Jimmy Jacobs, and then after that fight's when no, wait a minute, King was there already. I'm sorry.
Yes, King was there when he lost.
King had just taken him away from, because I remember Mike Tyson wanted to beat up King because he went in Buster Douglas's corners like the winner. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'll give you one. Mitch Blood Green. The guy he fought on the street and broke his fucking. Mike Tyson broke the guy's jaw. Yes. They also fought in the ring. And Mitch Blood Green, Tyson wasn't scared of him, but the fact that Mitch Blood Green wasn't scared of Tyson made that fight go a long time, and they were smacking each other around. So I agree with that. Okay, I agree. I see what you're saying, and I'll give you that one. Mitch Blood Green, that was a tough one for him.
That was very tough. Mitch Blood Green, I remember that fight.
Blood Green, he didn't go in there, you know, even though Tyson broke that guy's jaw on the street, knocked him out and everything. Mitch Blood Green wasn't afraid of him.
Yep. Biggest Mama says Crunch is better than Planet Fitness. Yeah, I think Crunch is.
Dude, Anytime Fitness is the only one that's really open to. So you can go on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. You know, the others all closed. I got a 24-hour Fitness here, and it's only open till like fucking 10 at night. Stupid. Stop calling yourself 24-hour Fitness.
John Mancini said there's a new movie coming out called The Smashing Machine. That's what I think it's not the machine, it's the Smash with The Rock as
I
Mark
saw
Kerr.
that. He actually does a good job as Mark
Yeah, he
Kerr.
looks just like him and everything, right?
Oh, yeah.
Luciano says, didn't Ken Norton beat Ali? Why not Tyson? No, I don't think Ken.
I think Ken Norton did beat Ali. I think he did beat Ali.
I don't think he
I
did.
think he beat him one. I'm pretty sure we can Google that. Maybe if George is watching.
Yeah, George. Sean Joseph Calvarla, Zio Greg.
Uncle Greg, yes.
Oh, Zio Greg. Always a pleasure. Hello to you, Joe. Hey, what's going on? Hope all is well. You know this guy, Sean?
No, but he's probably the guy that hated me before. Now he said he likes me. But thank you. From your zeal. From your what does that say?
Sean says it's always cringe anytime Dave has an opinion of pro sports.
Well, Dave doesn't watch sports. Listen, bodybuilding is not a sport. You don't win by merit. How many fucking times? Matter of fact, they just had a big argument. Everybody's arguing on Mike Mansour should have beat Arnold. I don't know about that. I think Arnold still had Mansour beat, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. But Mike Mansour was also 5th at Mr. Olympia. He had 3 other guys ahead of him. You know,
You said Arnold won more, or who'd you say? Michael Arnold or Mansour? Who'd you want?
Arnold won the Olympia in 1980, and that's when him and Mike Mansour had that fight.
And who do you think should have won? You think?
I don't know. I mean, I thought Zane is the one who could have beat Arnold. I mean, Chris Dickerson looked amazing there. I know Chris Dickerson personally. Well, I know Zane too. Zane's a fucking really.
I don't like Zane. Zane's physique for some reason.
But you know what, though, Joe? On stage, I agree with you. But on stage, that fucking guy. Watch pictures of him standing next to Arnold. He had what they call pop muscle. He could stand out there and just stand. And he looked. There's pictures of him standing next to Mansour, and he looked bigger. And Mansour was a monster. Yeah, I'm not putting Mansour down. I knew Mansour. Okay, I knew Mansour. These guys tell Mansour stories. I knew Mansour too. Okay, you saw the videos of me. In 1981, in Gold's Gym, you have the pictures there. I got plenty of pictures. There's some online. Me and Samir Banu, before Samir Banu was Mr. Olympia and all that shit. I was there. I want to see pictures of other guys that say that they were there. I was there, okay? And I know a lot of these guys. I know them personally. I knew some of them before they were famous. I knew Ray Mansour, who was a fucking maniac. You know, Dave, I said to Dave the other day, because Dave was saying that, and look, we're not putting Dave down. I'm just saying, at the show, when they were saying that, Dave said, well, maybe Ray committed suicide over the death of Mike. He was very upset. But those guys also
partied. They partied a little. Yeah, they partied. Drugs.
And, you know, it could be the Lou Costello thing. Lou Costello, you know, from Abbott and Costello, he died. He was a boxer, too. He was a bad dude. You know,
Patterson, New Jersey.
What's that?
Patterson, New Jersey.
Yeah, he's a Jersey boy. He fucking died, they said, of a broken heart because his son died, drowned in a swimming pool. And he died not long after. And they said he could never, he just lived in his shadows, didn't want to even get up in the morning. And but Ray used to drink and fucking, and all this other shit. So did Mike. You know, Mike was a chain smoker.
He was. He did that video. Mike Mansour did that video with their training video online.
Yeah.
And the guys who filmed that documentary said that they hated it because Mike Mansour always had to take a cigarette break.
Dude,
they said they couldn't do the film because he always had to go out for a break.
He used to smoke outside when I owned Peekskill Fitness Center in Peekskill, New York, not the Powerhouse Gym. He would come to my gym just to hang out with my friend Alex. Okay, it was my friend Alex, one of my friend Alex's best friends. My friend Alex with Bob Gruskin. Okay, they're legends in bodybuilding. Bob Gruskin was actually the head of NABA. But Alex Abay was the second. You know, God rest his soul. He was my friend, one of my best friends. And Mansour would hang out, and he would hang out in my gym. And he used to watch me fucking do like 100 sets for biceps and shit. And he'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" You know, and I'd be like, "Look, dude. Your shit works for you, but what works for me, you know, because it's not for everybody. It's just, you know, I do heavy duty for the legs. I think each body part's different. You know what I mean?
Yep. Luciano says, since we're on the topic of boxing, who would win between Roberto Duran or Manny Pacquiao? I think Roberto Duran with the hands.
Roberto Duran. Do you know? Now you're talking my era. My era is Roberto Duran. Let me tell you something about Roberto Duran. That fucking guy. Hands of stone. That guy didn't give a shit. You know what? He was a street fighter. He was an animal. I'm surprised he didn't bite somebody's ear off. You know what I mean? He was the kind of guy like you could kill him. You know what I mean? If you stuck him with a knife, he would still fucking be headbutting you and shit. He was a bad dude.
Yep. AJ88
too.
AJ88 says, "What's up, fellas? How we doing? Hey, what's going on,
AJ? What are you doing, my brother?
What's going on?" AJ says, did you watch the Eubank Jr. and Connor Ben? Was a dinger.
No, I didn't.
I didn't watch
haven't
it either.
been watching any of that shit. Can I just say one thing? And Mr. G's my boy, and I love him, but he forgot to mention that Joe, and George Zapata are the ones who brought Teddy Atlas to that. That's Teddy. He invited Mr. G to that show.
Yeah, I invited Mr. G to. I don't know. I mean, Mr. G shows the picture on After Hours and everything, but I invited him to the dance.
That's right. Teddy Atlas is a personal friend of the Zapatas. Let's get that straight.
Yes, exactly. So I mean, I invited him. I mean, we're gonna be with him Thanksgiving and doing a lot of stuff with him for the dinners and stuff.
Teddy's a personal friend of the Zapatas. So I'm just
just texted him actually about a week ago. My brother George said Mitch Green. Mitch Green, yes.
Yes, Mitch Blood Green.
He said he stood up to Tyson and exposed him a bit.
Yes. That's what I said. Yep.
That's right. Jerry Guns, we lost wars because of the left. My dad said he was in Vietnam and the left made us lose.
Listen to me. Who read that? Jerry Guns. Jerry Guns, you listen to me. I'm an older guy, bro. I just missed Vietnam by like 3 years. I had to sign up for the draft for that, Remember, I'm 65 years old. I just missed that shit. And I remember Vietnam extremely well. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That fucking war, you had Hanoi Jane there, Jane Fonda. She was like one of the, that she went over there and hung out with the Viet Cong and took videos. There's videos, you can watch them on YouTube, where she was with the enemy. You know what I'm saying? When I was younger, we'd go to bars in 1977, 78 and shit. That's when my heyday.
Mm-hmm.
And there'd be pictures of her in the urinals because, all the fucking Vietnam vets would come home and they would take stickers. They would get these fucking, and it would say Hanoi Jane. And so you would piss on the sticker. You know what I'm saying? She was the original. She was the AOC of that time. Like all these people that, like these savages that are coming over here and committing murders and rapes. And they're like, well, he's not a bad person. You know what I mean? Listen, I was fucking ripped out of my house and went to fucking jail, right? Nobody gave two shits that I had 2 young children, all right? You know what they'd say? Well, Valentino should have thought about that when he was committing his crimes, right? Well, there you go. Okay, they're not taking parents away from their kids. If the parent is a fucking gangbanger, what do you want them to do? Oh, we'll let him go. You know what I mean? Let him stay because he's got kids. Nobody gave a shit. I'm American. Nobody cared. My daughter, I remember talking to my daughter on the phone from jail. And she's like, Dad, did they have you tied to a chair? Because she saw that in a cartoon. She didn't understand that I was in jail. You know what I mean? She didn't know what jail was. But what I'm saying is there's plenty, every day there's a guy and a woman in this country who getting sentenced to prison and they got children at home. It's their fault. Mm-hmm. But don't give me no fucking people here, these illegals that come here. Don't give me that shit that they, do it the right way.
Yep. Small says, how do you bald fuckers? What's up, Smalls?
Smalls, what are you doing?
I need hair. Yeah, you do. Hopefully someone makes a movie on Tommy Morrison.
Oh, dude.
He was a mental case.
That was a bad dude. Norton beat him, yes.
Norton beat him.
Thanks, George. I knew he beat him. Kenny Norton beat Ali was beatable,
Yeah, okay.
Lost the rematch, yes.
Yep. Biggest Momo says, thank God someone finally admits that bodybuilding isn't a sport.
It's not a sport. You don't win by merit. How many times have you guys seen a guy that has won a show and you're like, oh, no way, dude, I had him at maybe third at best. There's no way Joe Matarazzi and fucking, Baja Galoob, those 2 guys should have fucking beat them. You know what I mean? I had, Joe Matarazzi first, Baja Galoob, then the winner. You know what I mean? Because if you're friends with some of the judge, you happen to train at a gym in that area. A lot of fucking judges also own gyms. You're NPC judges, and if you're from his gym or you're in good with standing, I can tell you stories, but I'm not going to get myself in trouble.
Brian he is. Pablo, there he is. What's up? Love you and support you, Momos.
That's my guy.
Joe and Greg, thank you, man.
Brian Pablo, that is my guy.
I'm not on my lunch break. I know. Sorry, Brian. We had to start a little bit later. My girl had knee replacement, had some surgery. It's kind of crazy. Greg, I was thinking the technology for the knee replacement that they have. Yeah, they use a robot. On her knee. And I'm thinking about it, the technology we have now with all this stuff is all advanced. But yet, when I go for a physical, they don't have any technology for a man who grab my balls and cough or stick a finger in my ass. No technology for that stuff, right?
I'm going to the doctor tomorrow for that, and I'm going to demand I want his hands on my balls, and I want 2 fingers up my ass.
But hey, the technology, they got to do something for that shit. Can't they do anything for that?
Well, I think some doctors get their jollies out of it, you know what I mean, and others don't. I told you I had a doctor that Todd Morrissey, if he's on here, Todd, if you're on here, holla. Todd Morrissey knows the doctor, and I used to go to. He was gay, and I'd go to him like if I had a fucking like an itch on my forehead. He'd say, "Okay, pull your pants on, let me check your prostate," because and he got a kick at it. Remember, I told you that's the one that said to me, because I shave, and he goes to me, "Oh, you're so clean," and I was like, "Holy fuck, man! Don't say that to me." I felt like a woman, like you were like somebody, like if you had a male gynecologist say, "Oh, your vagina looks really good," it looks so clean and because like when I pulled my pants down, it's bad enough he grabbed my dick. You know what I mean? He kind of kept his hand there for a while. I was like, "Are you supposed to do this too, or just like that?"
You looking right in your eyes when he's doing it.
He fucking stuck his finger in my ass, kept it there for almost a minute. I'm like, "Hello," you know what I mean?
Then he put his hands like this.
He's like, "It's so clean." Joe, he had a glove.
No hands.
Glove off with his teeth. He didn't stick that finger in, but he pulled the glove off like that with a plastic glove. I swear to God. Todd Morrissey's one of our guys who sometimes is on this show. Todd, if you're here, you know who I'm talking about. Very famous bodybuilding doctors. With all the New York bodybuilders, they all went to him and shit. You know what I mean? But he would do the same fucking thing. He broke his hip hula dancing.
Sean says, Azio Greg, how can you say I was probably a hater once upon a time? I've been a massive fan of yours for years. I've been calling you Zio Greg for years. You always replied to me, all good, just messing. Okay.
No, I know you. I know. I'm just playing around. But it's okay. Even if you were once the hater, even if you were, it's okay. It's okay.
Brian Pablo's Manny Pacquiao. He's half.
Yeah, Manny Pacquiao. Yep.
Diz and Los. Hey, Jay-Z and Greg, have you heard of Chopping It Up with Diz and Los? Yes, that's my brother's.
That's
my brother Dennis's channel.
Dennis.
Guys, like and subscribe to that channel. My brother doing a sports channel with his friend Carlos. So it's very good. Drops every Wednesday, I believe.
He's a coach, right? Football, Dennis?
No. He's not a football coach, but they both are, no sports.
I know you guys are big football fans. I can't
like football a lot, He's the other brother. So we just have a bunch of brothers just trying to do all the podcasting stuff.
Dennis, do you see that shit with Belichick? That's fucking dude, that chick's okay. I mean, she's, I guess if I was his age, 74, I'd be all over that shit too. You know what I mean? But she owns that guy. That was fucking, even a lot of football players that know him are like, what? You're taking orders from that? You know what I mean? Like, that's a little crazy.
Luciano said, Greg, who do you got? Aaron Pryor or Duran? I read Pryor was a heartbroken. He didn't get that fight. Aaron Pryor was a nonstop.
Aaron Pryor was a bad dude. He was a beast. You know what's funny? Duran was a little bit of a head case and had a bad temper and was nuts. Aaron Pryor might have outsmarted him. You know what I'm saying? That's a toss-up. That's a good one, to be honest with you. Duran was such an animal. It depends on how you got Duran in there. Like if you got the, you know what I mean? Some fighters just, you get in there and you're like, come on, what are you doing? What's going on here? You know what I mean? Like when I saw, believe it or not, when I saw Jake Paul fight like Tommy Fury.
Okay.
I was like, come on, what are you doing? He just didn't look like the same Jake Paul that, I seen starch Tyron Woodley. You know what I mean? I know some of you guys might not like Jake Paul, but he's legit. The guy's got fucking, he starched some fucking good guys. But I just thought I would have had him destroy Fury. I couldn't believe that it was even close.
Yeah. Small says, hey, I got the same haircut. Yep. I'm probably doing another
boy, Smalls.
Another one. All right. AJ, Greg, tell us the story of Jane Father cover magazine story. When you shit on Jane Father.
Oh my God. You remember that. You know what happened? We were moving equipment and shit, and my friend had all the shit in a fucking garage. And he went out. He lived in Brooklyn, and he went out with his family. Oh my God, dude, only fucking shit like this happens to me. And I was with my partner Paul, right? The guy that owned the gym with me. And we were in there, and like I'm gonna try to condense it, make a long story short. But the long story was, so my friend's out, takes his family out, and he tells us, if you got to use the bathroom, he left the house open so we could use the bathroom. But then this is towards the end. My partner Paul, he locks the fucking door so we can't go back in the house and use the bathroom, right?
And you always got to go,
right? So my partner Paul's in there, and he's like, going to the bathroom shit. So I'm banging on the door, fucking around with him. So I'm like, okay. Now later on, I got a shit, right?
And you always do.
Right. So I got to take a shit. So I'm going on and fucking, I said, pull the garage door down. So he had, his wife used to collect all these old Life magazines, and it was one of Jane Fonda, right? It was on the top, but I was like, okay, fuck this. I'm going to shit on the magazine. I'm just going to throw, I'll take a shit like a dog on a magazine, and then I'll throw it in the garbage, right? Because I can't get in the house to go to the bathroom. The fucking Momo locked the door. So over there, and I'm going to shit, and I hear my partner Paul, he's banging on the door, and like this, yo, oh, come on, hurry, look, and he's trying to fucking get my attention. I'm like, you motherfucker, because I did it to him, so I think he's doing it to me. But what he was trying to do was warn me that my friend, Angelo was coming in he's coming down the driveway with his family, and he hits the electric fucking garage door, and it starts to go up like this. Well, I'm trying to pull my pants up, and there's shit on the fucking, and they all saw me. He sees the garage goes up, and they all see me like this. They see the whole family in a car like this. My partner pulls like, I tried to fucking warn you. And all of a sudden he puts the door back down because his kids are looking at me and shit. And he comes running in there, and his wife's like, Jesus Christ, those are my magazines. And I'm like, well, I didn't fucking know. I thought, they look like garbage, because they're in a pile in the garage. What do you know? Dude, It was the most, look, I'm actually sweating.
Embarrassing. Wasn't it embarrassing?
It's one of the most embarrassing moments. Like, I've had some seriously embarrassing, I could tell you a million.
Yeah,
some really embarrassing moments, That was one of the worst, because the kids and everybody saw this guy squatting, trying to pull his pants up because here comes the door like this. And the driveway's right here. It's kind of comes down. And I'm like fucking trying to pull my pants up. And I thought my partner Paul was trying to warn me. He was trying to warn me that they were coming, they're getting ready to turn in the driveway. Hurry up, and he's banging on the thing. And I'm thinking, you motherfucker, because I was fucking with him.
Yeah, that's funny. That's fucked up.
And it was Jane Fonda, the magazine, Jane Fonda. It was the Life magazine. That was fucking great.
The dude, 1983, says, hey, fellas, I was on a Stairmaster, but Planet Fitness is open 24/7 here in San Antonio, Texas. Wow.
But is it open 24/7 every day? Most Planet Fitnesses close early on Saturday, even on Fridays. They close at midnight, and then Saturday at like 6, and then Sunday at like 6, and then they open up for business. But I'm telling you, where I live, the only one is Anytime Fitness, and I train at a really, really, really good Anytime Fitness. It's loaded. It's like a hardcore gym too.
The dude says, 1983 says, I can't make up my mind if I should stay at Planet or join Gold's Gym. Well, I mean, if it's convenient for you at work and stuff like that in your schedule, stay at Planet. But if you want to go Gold's, and I mean, I prefer Gold's, but
me too. There's no way I would train at Planet. They don't like bodybuilders. I went there years ago for one day because my friend used to train. He's like, come on, just one day, come with me. So I said, okay. And I'm like in there, and they're like, you did 3 sets on that machine. That's enough. You can't use that. Where I live, there's a section that's roped off that you can only do like 1 set. It's like a circuit or some shit. I'm like, no, I can't train here. And then all these other fucking people, when you get charged $10, you get what you pay for. You know what I mean? You try to get on a machine, it's right next, Joe, it's right next to the fucking Dollar Tree where I go, right? It's if any people live in my area, in fucking Peekskill, right there with a fucking, the big plaza, beach shopping center. It is right there. There's a fucking Planet Fitness right next door is the Dollar Tree. Well, it's a pizza parlor in between. And the Dollar Tree, right? Because I'm always in that Dollar Tree. And I was in there today. And when I get there at night and I go there, the fucking breath on the windows are fogged with, and the little drips coming down like this because the breath, everybody's steaming. They got the air conditioning and the breath and all that shit. And I'm like, you could write, you could draw on your fucking, on the windows and shit, but it's like, it's breath. And it's like, oh my, it probably stinks like a salami factory, especially in the morning, when you get these old people on a treadmill, they don't fucking brush their teeth or eat before they come. And then, got that salami breath. Oh.
Once in a while, I'll have to go to Planet Fitness because, I have a membership at a couple of different gyms, but I have to go because it's just my schedule or something. And I'll stop in real quick and work out. And there's a guy who's on the treadmill, and this guy is like, you think he's having a seizure. He just, his whole head is moving. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this dude? I don't know, it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't.
He's dancing around.
I can't train at no fucking Planet Fitness. I just don't like it.
I know.
I don't like that atmosphere too.
It is. I know. I really don't like to do it myself. Once in a while, like on vacation or something, we'll go or hit it something. So
I'm gonna put up a video, Joe, on my channel really fast, because I'm gonna go into in-depth explain some shit. Because people are like, why do you train at 2 a.m. and all? Okay, I've said it 10 bazillion times, you know what I mean? Just like, why do you wear sunglasses? You know, a million times, the story's out there gazillion times. I'm going to explain why, but in a nutshell, I fucking tell you people about me training to it's because when I do legs, I only train 1 day a week at 2 a.m. I don't train every day. First of all, I only train twice a week with weights. Okay, so that's it. Like Dorian Yates does the same thing. Only train twice. I'm fucking, 60 something. So I can't be fucking, killing myself like that. But I train twice a week. I only 1 day out of the week I go at 2 a.m, and that's because I'm doing legs, and I can't have some fucking kid on the machine or even other guys say, well, I'm on my phone, but I'm, I'm going through my playlist, and I'm like, bro, if you're worried about your playlist, then you're not training hard. You fucking just put whatever music you want and let it all just fucking go. I don't listen to anything, but that's neither here nor there.
Gotcha. Biggest Momo says, I like your shirt, Joe. Well, thank you. It says,
yeah, funny. I like that too.
Maybe steroids. Maybe
not.
Maybe not. Brian, he says, hey, Greg, your doctor said you're so clean back there.
Yes, that's another one of those moments that makes me sweat. Like me shitting in that garage, that makes me sweat when I think of that too, because he was so he's schivazzo. If Todd Morrissey, next time we see Todd Morrissey, he's one of the guys who watches these videos. You see, sometimes he comments.
Yeah, I see Todd. Yeah, Todd comes out.
Looks like Todd Morrissey.
He's a good guy.
Right. He
knows the doctor.
He knows the doctor. Me and him, I know Todd. Right. He knows the doctor.
Dr. Vinny Boombots. Dr. Vinny Boombots.
Yeah, I don't want to say his name. He's Italian. He is Italian. But the thing is, he's fucked up, bro. He's fucked up. And it's so clean back. That made me feel like I'm like, oh my God, now I feel like a woman who, like if you say to a woman, oh, your breasts look so nice in that shirt, like women would be like, what? You know what I mean? Like, where Bob Bonham used to do that. He would tell girls, I don't know how he never got in fucking trouble. I love Bob, God rest your soul. I used to even tell you stop doing it. But he would see girls in the gym and he'd be like, wow, I like the way your butt looks in those pants. You know what I'm saying? Like when girls wear the tight pants.
Yeah.
It's like I could see it's like the pants are.
He probably couldn't get away with that today. He probably wouldn't be able to get away with that today. Back then, maybe he could.
I used to tell him, dude, you're a sexual fucking harasser. He didn't do it purposely. We'd go out to clubs and shit, or we'd be in a diner, and a girl would come walking in, and sometimes he'd be like, I just want to say I love those boots and that pants. They look really good on you. I'd be like, oh my God, did you just say that?
Jesus Christ.
I love him. God rest his soul. He's my brother. You know that. I love the guy, but it just makes me think of that shit when I see, Oof.
John Mancini said, hope surgery went well, Joe. Thoughts and prayers. Yes, everything went well. Just recovering right now. Mike G said, is it best to take milk thistle and live 52 or just one of them?
I take both. I have both. Even Lee Priest takes, I know Lee Priest takes Live 52. I take milk thistle a bunch of times because I had a liver problem, when last year with the whole gallbladder. That was a result. That's why I was in the hospital 2 weeks. It was because of the liver and shit. But the bile backed up into the liver and the liver went like that. I actually would lay on a machine, and if I laid on my belly, it felt like I had a fucking softball. You can actually feel my liver. That's how bad it was. I mean, it was that bad. It was just, and I take Live 52. I mean, I do take Live 52. I got it right here. And I take milk thistle. But I take milk thistle like 5 times a day.
Wow. John C says, I hate getting the finger. LOL. Yeah, the finger. You get it from the doctor and Lucia? You get the finger from your doctor and Lucia, correct?
No, Lucia gives me the strap on. No, but that's not true, but you guys probably believe it. No, the doctor would do it to everybody. We'd make jokes. Dude, I'm going there because my fucking ear's like sore, and he'd be like, okay, let me see your prostate. And I'm like, what?
My ear?
Like, what does that have to do with my fucking ear or whatever?
Exactly.
He's like, no, I got to check your prostate. It's just part of the procedure. And I'm like, okay, here, get your jollies. And then when he said that one time, then after that, I was like, no more prostate. No more, none of that shit.
You don't see him anymore, right?
No, he went to jail.
Now he's really enjoying it.
Yeah, he was in prison. You know why? Because he was writing those prescriptions for Oxycontins and shit. Not even steroids. He was right. I mean, he was writing steroids, but he didn't go to jail for it. He was writing Oxycontins.
Okay. Luciana says, as long as you treat Greg to a movie and dinner,
that's what I told him. Dude, when I had gonorrhea and the doctor was fucking sticking his fucking finger up my ass, he would touch my prostate. and pus would shoot out of my cock like I was coming. It was unbelievable. It was green. It was green, and sometimes with a little blood in it too, which is really bad. And I said to the doctor, I hope you're at least going to fucking take me to dinner and maybe buy me some flowers after this. He would laugh. Oh, that's very funny. But he would take a slide. He had a glass slide, for like a microscope.
Yeah.
Put it under, my cock's hanging like this, like all dead. And he stick his finger up my fucking ass and hit that shit. And this shit would come out. He's like trying to catch it. Like, oh shit, wait a minute, right here. Okay, there it is. Right on the slide. Oh, a little bit went off. It's all over the place. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, you know what I mean? I remember I came home from my friend's college. I was up visiting my friend at college. I come home and my mother's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I said, what do you mean? She goes, you got blood all over your underwears. Why are you bleeding in your underwear? What are you, a woman? Like, it's like a period. And I told her, you don't want to know what it is. Trust me. You don't want to know. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Some doctor.
My mother was like amused by me. She was like, because my mother was crazy. My mother was a chick from the Bronx. You know what I mean? And my mother was tough. She beat up the fucking stepfather. She used to fist fight guys. Mm-hmm. My mother was tough. So my mother, I would say and do crazy shit. Remember, I took a stripper to my senior prom. I worked at it during the fucking day. I went to high school at night. I worked in a fucking Lake Lounge, which is a strip club, right? I got pictures of me when I was a kid, kid with all these strippers and shit. And I took one of my senior prom. We should try to find her. I think I said that to Dave.
Yeah, we should try. Yeah,
we should try to find her. Okay. But anyway,
try to find the doctor.
So my mother was like amused by me. You know what I mean? Like I stripped for my senior prom, when you get your diploma, I stripped on the thing. I got pictures of shit. I stripped and I fucking took off my clothes. I was doing double biceps up there. Cause remember, I was a teenage bodybuilding, and I was like a sensation back then. Yeah. Nobody looked like me. I was beating everybody, beating grown ass men. But the thing is, I would fucking do insane shit. My mother was the first one. You're like, yeah. My father was like, I don't know this guy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. The Sweets had saw a hot Mexican girl with a fucking great ass in the gym tonight.
Nice, dude, Sweet. I hope when you say great ass, see, we have different opinions on great asses here. I don't like a big ass like Jennifer Lopez. I wouldn't go near that ass. It's disgusting to me. You know what I'm saying? I like a little fucking tiny little catcher's mitt. That's what I like. I want it's a little fucking tight little catcher's mitt. Okay. That's what I like. I like skinny girl. I have a thing. Ariana Grande. I'm convinced Ariana Grande has never thrown a smelly fart in her life. Mm-hmm. I don't think when she shits, I picture it smelling like fresh baked chocolate chip. When Morella makes those nice chocolate chips that she makes, those beautiful, delicious cookies.
Oh, yeah.
Shit. And you're in there, you go, ooh, Morella, you're baking? Yeah. I guarantee you fucking Ariana Grande's boyfriend walks in the house and she just took his shit. He's like, are you baking cookies?
John Mancini said, Joe, did you hear about the Falcons getting the fine for the prank? Yes. Did you see that prank, Greg?
No, I don't follow anything.
You don't follow? So Deion Sanders' son.
Yes. Okay.
Deion Sanders' son.
Yes. Okay.
You saw him. He dropped in the draft, and then they prank called him. Did you see that?
Yeah, and then the kid said, "I'm sorry, you're gonna have to wait longer." And Deion Sanders' son
it was one of the
what did he mean by that? Does that mean I just got pranked?
That was the coach's son. You know that?
Yeah, I know. They were saying that coach should get fired because they think he left that open on purpose. How did the kid get that? Blah 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 blah.
Yeah. Carlos, what's up, Carlos? He's part of
Carlos.
Diz, and he's part of my brother's podcast.
Hey, Carlos, what's going on, brother?
Yes, what's going on, Carlos? So everyone like and subscribe to that podcast. Diz and Los, chopping it up. Luciano said Planet Fitness kicked Lee Priest out for being Lee Priest.
I don't see I can kick Lee Priest out of there, but they're really fucking stupid with that lunk alarm shit and all that stuff.
Yeah, it is. Ben Garcia.
Hey, Ben Garcia.
For those asking when Greg trains at 1 a.m, same time, 1 a.m., here's the answer. Because you're all asleep.
That's right.
More annoying than crowds.
That's right. I can't. You understand? When I do legs, I
hit it on the head.
I'm super focused. And I'm too, Joe will tell you, you get me on the phone and Joe could put the phone down, go do laundry, fucking go to the gym workout, pick up the phone. I'm still,
yep, I've done it before. So I've done it.
How dare you, Joe?
I'm like, hey, what's going on, Greg? Hold on.
Morella must be like, you know what I mean? Like they see me call. Oh, Joe's probably like, oh.
I was actually taking a shower while Greg was talking to me. And I was like, okay, I'm done. What's up, Greg?
What that means is I talk a lot. You know what I mean? I know that might seem hard for you to believe, but I talk a lot. And like even when I'm in the gym, I'll work out and I go fast between sets, but I'll still talk and shit. And I'm very friendly. So I can't tell somebody, excuse me, I'm training. You know what I mean? I can't do that. And I can't throw a guy off the machine. I will tell a guy, listen, you've been sitting on that machine for a long time. Now I'm going to have to work in with you. You know, you can't just sit there and tell me I'll be done in 3 sets and it's 15 minutes later and you still haven't done 3 sets. That's ridiculous. You know, so then I'll tell a guy, excuse me, but I'm sorry, but I got to work in with you. You're not even training. You know.
Let me ask you: do the guys that bother you at the gym too, the ones that sit there with their watch and time? Like this one guy I see, he's in there. He does a set, and then he times it for like 4 minutes, and he's just sitting there like this. Like that bothers me too. Just
I've seen guys do similar stuff. I've seen them do that when they're doing like deadlifts or something. Like they're trying to time. Do you ever see the guys that write shit down, or they got
those guys with the books
tiny
and
notebook, and they're like almost like
writing stuff down and stuff. Yeah, who knows?
If you think that any pro bodybuilder's ever done that, you're out of your mind. You know what I mean? You don't just train. But I'm too talkative. I'm too friendly. I can't tell somebody go fuck yourself. You know, so I got to train. I got to do the legs when nobody's in the gym. Yeah. And that's why.
And then you got the guys. You ever see the guys that wear the gloves, the chalk, the belt?
Oh, yeah.
They got the whole thing. They look like Batman. They got the
brand new sneakers and shit. Like, their fucking shoelaces are too white. You know what I mean?
You know, they got everything. Every gear thing you got can name on your body. They got, you know, it's just like, come on.
They're like a fashion plate and shit.
Yeah, exactly. AJ says, catch you fellas soon. Need to grab some sleep. All right, AJ.
AJ, all right, my brother.
All right. Ben Garcia said, these kids that hang at the machine for hours at the time, those momos wait for you to, you got to kick them right off that machine, man.
Yeah, I can't be mean about it. I just tell them, okay, listen, I'm sorry, but you said you got 3 sets left. That was 15 minutes ago. You got to let me train. I'm going to work in with you. And they're usually like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not a mean guy, though. I can't be like, get the fuck up. I can't do it unless you piss me off. If you piss me off, then you might get a dumbbell on your head. But I'm not like that. It takes a lot to get me mad.
Yep. Ben Garcia says, I don't blame Greg for training at 1 a.m. So yeah, Ben, you're right. That's time. No one bothers you, Greg.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to do a video about this and a bunch of other things that might help you guys. Actually, I'm going to thank Brian Pablo because he asked me something, and I kind of went off in my reply to him on the video I just did. And he actually made me think about something that I'm going to tell you guys. But one of the things is, I'm going to tell you, the reason why I train at 1 in the morning, okay, is because I fucking hate it. And you may say, wait, that makes no sense. It's because I fucking hate it is the reason why I train it. Kevin Levrone, before, when he would go for a show, he would punish himself, not shower. He would do shit, you know, like he would lay around. They say he would lay sometimes and sleep on the floor. I knew of one time where he threw bullets and shit on the floor, so he felt like he was in a war zone. He would almost punish himself because he felt like if I do that, it'd make me like hardcore. I'm not that way, but in a different way, there's a similarity there. I hate fucking training at 1 in the morning, but when I get there, I hate it so much. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking punish myself, and I do. I'll get more into that in the video, but that's another reason why I do it.
Okay, Wiz says it's only sexual harassment if they don't find you attractive. Well, that's a good one, Wiz. That's a real good one. John C says, as long as the doc didn't have both hands on your shoulder, he gives you the finger.
Well, you know what I said to him? You know what I couldn't understand is when he said to me, pull your pants down, I'm going to check your prostate. And I said, well, why are you taking your clothes off too? You got it?
I got it.
I said, well, wait a minute. Wait, why are you naked too?
Exactly. Dora Fax, what's going on? Dora Fax, I haven't seen you. Greg, I like your comment on Eric Kavinsky do video with Johnny Bravo.
Oh, you saw that? I can watch. I love Eric Kavinsky. I do. I love the guy. I love that fucking guy. I think he's fucking funny. See, and Johnny Bravo's my boy. And I got to tell you something. I don't know how those guys, even Big Rob. I love Big Rob. He's a good guy. Some of you guys, I don't care what anybody says about him. I know him personally. Him and my girlfriend sit and talk about Lebanon shit all the time. I'm going to tell you something. I don't know how, if you said to me, Greg, let's do some prank videos. I can't. I would get silly. I can't see a guy getting all serious. Wait, you want me to chop up the body and bury it and stuff? And you're like, no, they've got to do this. You know, they killed my father. And I'm sitting, I would be like, you know, I would be laughing my fucking ass off. I can't do that shit. I can't call somebody up on the phone and say, yeah, you know, is this a cocksucker resident? I can't do that shit. You know what I mean? I can't do it. I would get silly. I can't do that. Like sit there and be like, oh yeah, Deion Sanders. Yes. How you doing? This is the Philadelphia Eagles. Guess what, buddy? You were just picked. You know, congratulations. You're going to be one of us. I couldn't do that. I would get silly.
Wow. John Scuderi said, I found her and when she was supposed to come on, Greg, after hours, the girl. I guess he found her. The girl you were talking about, but he said, we were
No,
going to
wait a minute,
surprise you
you
on
talk-
After Hours. I called her and set it up, but then Dave
Wait, is this
called her
real,
back
John?
and she bailed
John, is
out.
that really you? Wait, you found the girl that I went to senior prom with? Is that who he's talking about?
That's what he said. He said that him and Dave set it up and that she bailed out last minute.
No, John, are you serious? Lauren
If
Booth.
that's serious, John, man,
Her name is Lauren Booth. She was from, I think, Wilbraham, Framingham, Springfield, that area. She would live. Oh my God!
If that's true, John, then we got to try and make this happen.
John, I have her address. I think from when she was. But this is 1979. 1978. I was with her in 79. So you're talking. That's a long time ago. That was her parents. I mean, that's fucking. Christ, we're going on almost 50 years ago. You know what I mean? I've been out of high school my real class was 78. I graduated 79. Do you know I failed gym? Believe it or not, isn't that funny?
You failed gym? Did you really?
Yeah, I did. You know why? I never went to gym class. I never went to gym. I used to go in the weight room and shit. And the gym teachers hated my guts because Hold on one second. I got to pee really bad. Hold on.
We're going to wrap up, actually, Greg.
No, don't wrap up yet.
All right. All right, hurry up. All right, let's see what we got. Hey, Dora Fax says, hey, Joe, did you watch the new Thunderbolts movie? Not yet. I'm going to watch it. There's a great post credit scene that everyone should watch. It's going to be really good. You know, hopefully it'll have a good Avengers movie with that Doomsday. So we'll see what happens. John Mancini said, Bravo posted a new video. I know it popped up, but I didn't watch it. I got to check out that video when he gets it. Ben Garcia says, Lerone slept in a sleeping bag for weeks and had empty grenade shells around him. I get that mindset, though, Greg. I get it, bro. I'm the same. Well, Ben, you know, you had a good point, though, training at 1 a.m. I would do the same thing if I could. But unfortunately, I'm up at 4 a.m. for work and everything. John says that's no bullshit. Well, John, we got to hook this up, man. You know, we got my number.
I'm here.
John says he's not John said he's not bullshitting. He said it's true.
John, are you serious? If that way, John Scuderi, if that's really John, he'll text that. He'll text it to me.
Yeah, we'll text it then, John. We'll text it. That's really
That's crazy. Both of us. And Dave knew this shit and he didn't tell me.
They're supposed to surprise you, he said. And then she bailed out.
I fucking saved that girl's life. I could tell you a fucking whole story. She cheated on me with Mark Mendoza from Twisted Sister. And I kicked him out of a chair. He was sitting in a chair. And I knocked him over and jumped on top of him. D. Schneider jumped on top of me and beat the shit out of me. Well, like an animal. He was, first of all, that fucking guy's real tall. I was fucking 17, 18. I was 18 years old. I was 18. And he beat the fuck, was punching me in the face, and I got thrown out of it. It was fucking crazy. I could take some crazy stories. That's before Twisted Sister was. But Mark Mendoza, I fucking knocked that motherfucker down on the ground. I was punching his face.
Wiz says, yo, guys, did you speak about Vitaly facing 25 years in Filipino prison?
Oh, John, Lucia should tell me John's kid. So it is John.
So it is John. All right. So John, if it's real, yeah. So John, let's try and make it happen. Let's call this this girl up.
Oh my God, that would be fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rekindle.
The only thing is, I wonder if she might be mad. I wonder if she pulled out because I said she was a stripper. Maybe that part of her life she's trying to forget because she was like a runaway from home. But if you're watching this, I don't mean it. You know, I fucking, you know, sorry, I didn't mean anything bad by it. But I mean, like, you know.
Yeah,
facts. I have pictures and everything. Me and her together.
And Greg, sorry if he gave you any disease.
No, I didn't give her the disease. It was another girl, but she didn't. I didn't give anybody disease. She gave it. Wasn't.
She gave it to you the other way around.
I worked there for years. Another girl gave it to me. I used that money to go out to fucking California. That's what I used to go to Gold's Gym. The money I made.
Yeah. Well, Greg, we gotta wrap up, buddy, because I gotta run take care of the girl and stuff. So John Mancini, thank you. Ben Garcia,
John, thank you guys.
Dizen Los, of course. John Scuderi, let's try and hook this up. Carlos, Luciano, Jerry Guns, all the guys. Dan, Brian Pablo, of course, biggest Momo, the dude, 1983. Smalls, AJ, thank you guys so much. We always love you guys coming on and chat with us. Again, Greg, I will talk to you in a little bit, brother.
Yes, Joe, I'm sorry. I hope Morella feels better. Give her our love and
yes.
All right, you guys, thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you guys all. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye-bye,
brothers.
Thanks for watching the Zapata Brand podcast. Please subscribe to the podcast and listen where all podcasts are available.